So what is up once again, part 2 of what I told you guys about what I was going to be doing for the video and everything. You can see I got my plants and everything. It's definitely cleared up a lot from this morning when I first took a bunch of stuff out. You're starting to see deeper into the tank just by taking out the Mopani wood and thus a lot of the snails. Because a lot of time I turned the lights on at this night, there was a lot more snails kind of all up and down the glass here. And even along the sides. I don't like the sides on the outside too much, so I do apologize for the dirtiness. Yeah, so even on the sides here, that is one of my assassin snails right there. Oh, cool, cool. Yeah, thankfully, my yo-yo loaches are very lazy, so I did have some assassin snails in here, but I didn't see them for a while because I thought they got overrun by all the little pest snails, little trumpet snails, or whatever these guys are exactly. They are a pest snail. I've heard them called trumpet snails. I've heard them called Malaysian snails. They're a nuisance when they get to breeding, only because of what they do to your plants, and because they eat stuff at the roots and everything. Now this thing's doing good. It's in the cup still and all that, so they can't really get to the root system on this thing. But you can see them eating away at the dying parts of the plant because old parts breaking away to make way for new, healthier bits. Because this was grown in the air before it was put into water. And then right here, this shows how Anacharis kind of grows. Right there's a little sprout coming out. And ferns are right there. My Java fern is growing some roots off the leaves. I'm going on about the plants because I got some of this stuff here. This is some more Anacharis right there, and then some ferns. I'm going to be very gentle with this. So with these ferns, you can see right there, that's a system. That's like a nice big old bunch of stuff that other leaves can grow out of. These plants have been kind of roughed up, and they're not doing as good. And this is just some floating duckweed bits, because I had these things in our backroom tank recovering. And I was able to bring some of these in because I gave so much of good duckweed. And so I'm just kind of traded out plants and whatnot, but I will also be buying the good healthy ones once I get my paycheck in on Thursday. We'll be putting some more Anacharis, and I'm going to try and get we got some really good ferns in too. So ferns and Anacharis right now, because they're easy growing, they need low light, and they're going to absorb as much of the nitrate problem I got going on right now as it can. Because as you remember from part 1, the nitrates and whatnot are a little high, not high, but they're getting there. The ammonia levels are not there, and the nitrites aren't really there. But we do have a little bit of some nitrate going on, and we do need to fight that some. I'm going to do that with these plants here. I'm just going to kind of dump that in. This is getting the water out, and then we're going to gently place them. So real quick, I'm going to cut that light on above in the ceiling one moment. Okay, now you can see the plants I got here a little better. Now we very gently come reaching in. You don't want to grab from the leaf when you're handling the plant. You want to grab from the base and be very gentle. Very gentle. You don't grip. And then with these things you can just kind of place. Ferns are good with that. That one might float around a little bit, but the weight will find a spot. Roots will hopefully do its thing. It'll kind of anchor itself. You don't want to bury your ferns too deep. You'll kind of rot away this good stuff right here that makes it that they can grow. But you can see why we were keeping those in the back room. We got some Anacharis in today, and that stuff, this is just broken pieces that kind of fell off the main string, so it's smaller pieces and stuff. But for now, because money's not super great and whatnot until I get paid, we are going to be okay. And thankfully I was able to work with something here. And the Anacharis I did put in there is growing very well. You can see some of the strings are very long. And that one's already starting to break away into something smaller, even though it's already so small still. So that's cool to see. Alright. So Anacharis is great for floaters. Ferns can kind of float around some too, but you do want them to kind of be attached to something, normally a wood piece or rock piece or something of that design. You don't really want to bury them too deep. Once again, I've done that a couple times way in the past when I was less experienced about all this. I'm going to cut that ceiling light off again to get rid of that glare some. Alright, so all lights out and everything's good. Now something I saw on the comments as well. Someone was saying that the one guppy in here with the really curved spine, where's she at? She's not in the obvious right now. Up there, Summer's just resting away in the Anacharis. But she was actually brought here when she was a baby, because at PetSmart, when I used to work there, anytime I'd find live bearer, platy, mollies, or guppy babies in their tanks, I'd switch them over to what we would have is one tank for vegetation and so on. And then what that would happen is that would keep them safe from being eaten from the parents. We can watch them grow. So I brought these babies before the spine curvature or anything happened with the one. And honestly, I still would have taken her in anyway. That would have made me want to take her in more. Because, you know, she needs special help. And I've always had this hammock and stuff. I took it down for a little bit. But the hammocks and stuff, and I provide things that lets them rest on stuff. Oh, man. I said, oh, man, because look at this right here. Someone else who I don't see very much. My buddy. I thought he was dead, too. So when I put the bochias in, and all of a sudden the snails I thought were killed off because they got overrun by the small snails, were not dead. I got worried. But the bochias has been in here for a minute, and this dude, I can't see them getting to him easily anyway, but he's a sleepy dude. He chills for like 2 days in the sand and stuff sometimes, and he'll come out and snack at night, and then he'll go in and hide again. He's like a Snorlax. That might be actually his name. I never named the dude. He's pretty old, too. He's almost about a year, and for a Nyrite snail, that's a hardy age. I normally tap out around 8 to 9 months on average, but I could be confusing with mystery snails as well, so if I am wrong about that, please in the comments let me know, because I would love to learn. I'm spitting off the top of my head. I know that I've had mystery snails a lot more than Nyrites, because mystery snails aren't sold anymore, unfortunately. I have to go for Nyrite snails. So I've been working with Nyrites more recently, but they're super cool too. They are a bit different than mystery snails, and I can get into that in another day. But today it's about the tank and stuff. So a lot of these guppy babies were born here. The adults were born at PetSmart. I brought them in because with that store, if it was out of the system, it was a pain to put it back in the system. So we would adopt them out to customers that were regulars or, you know, to employees. So one moment while I flip it over to my face. Some sauce. All right, cool. I just wanted to show the tank. It did clear up. It's looking like how it kind of did before I took everything out and kicked all that dirt up. But now that they have an open space, the bocha should be able to pick off the little pest snails and stuff much easier. My big guy snails you saw in there, he's been doing great with them. So hopefully they won't even bother with them and everything will be okay in the end there. And then as far as all that goes, you saw with part one, is I didn't want to make the video too long and go dragging on too much about my stuff. I knew there's more I wanted to talk about. And, you know, I've been seeing more people, been talking with people about stuff because I work at the pet store. And again, it's nice because they are reassuring me that I am doing good at my job. Is that a bug bite or something? Huh, that's funny. It might even be a zit. Oh, that's funny. 36 years old and you're popping out pimples. That's fun. I don't know what that is. I'll have to check that out. I work with so many things. I ain't worried about it right now. We'll fix that at another point in time. But as far as all that goes, you see what's going on. The tank looks dirty. It looks nasty. It looks like that it's got so much ammonia and nitrates that it'll go ahead and destroy anything that's put in there. And yeah, it's the dirt and stuff. It's a risk I took when I put the sand and soil together. And what I did is I layered dirt down first, and then I put a layer of sand on top so I can put some rooted plants in there. The roots will be put in past the sand part and then reach into the soil, get the good nutrients, sprout out and be big. Because the hard thing with soil, it's hard to get plants to stay in place. It's easier to do so with a top layer of sand or rocks. And that's not the only method. That's just the method I know that I use, you know. Not the only way to keep plants still. But it's the one I like. And because of that, snail stuff and whatnot got everywhere. So I'm working on changing it out. Once I get a few days more of this thing going right now, do like a 50% water change or something. I'm not going hard and making it change too fast because I have a whole little army of not snails, but shrimp. Ghost shrimp. I call it my shrimp squad. And I don't want to change my parameters too much and cause pretty much shrimpicide. So that's not what I'm going for. That's not what I want. So with that, that's why I'm approaching it as I am, slow and steady. The tank might take another week or two to clear or something before it's not looking like it is. But even when it does clear, I use tannins, so it's going to have like that brownish, dirtyish look to it. but that's nature, and it's good for life bearers and stuff. So I call it dirty tank and joking. You know, I'm not making fun of myself. I'm not hating the tank. I'm making myself. Well, I guess it's making fun of myself. You know, it's not. But no, I'm not hating it. I am thankful that enough people had said something for me to check my parameters because I didn't realize the nitrates were so close to being bad. But good now, hopefully. But as I came through, I think but a lot. Goodness, I'm tired. It was a long day. So I'm going to go to bed. Well, not go to bed. I'm going to get ready to go to bed. And I got to be back in at work at 8:30 in the morning. Well, I'm going to go in at 8 because we have an event going on and got to set up. And tomorrow will be the setup for the betta fish change and stuff like that as well. Yay! But no, it's all good. And I said but again. I'm butting out of here. But. Peace out.